Good morning, Bimblers. And you join me on the fabulous Wirral. We've come to Port Sunlight, but apparently it's not going to be sunshine all day. It might rain later on. So I suppose we should stop messing about and bimble. One day, Bimblers, I'll have an house round here. There's apparently 900 Grade 2 listed houses within 130 acres of Port Sunlight. All designed by my favourite architects. My ultimate favourite architect, John Douglas. He designed the Lyceum and a lot of the houses. He's of course famous for designing the gold clock in Chester. You know the one I'm on about. You also have houses designed by Grayson and Ould. That's George Enoch Grayson and Edward Ould. They designed St Peter's Church in Walton, which is where they had the Walton Village Fete, where John Lennon and Paul McCartney met. But somebody must have commissioned these Victorian geniuses to build all these houses and buildings. And it turns out he was a Victorian genius himself. That would be William Hesketh Lever, aka Lord Leverhulme. He was born in Bolton in 1851. He was a grocer's son. They weren't very well off, but they weren't destitute. The grocer's was actually quite successful, but it became even more successful when William Lever got them into the wholesale market. He elevated the firm to the point that they started manufacturing, and what they started manufacturing was soap. You see, when William Hesketh Lever was a wholesaler going from town to town, he noticed that the shops bought giant blocks of soap and they chopped bits off and weighed it, and that's how we bought it. It's very similar to the way you buy soap from Lush, over in the town centre. The quality of those soaps could vary drastically. Some of the soaps were made of animal fat called tallow, and in some cases that wouldn't be formulated properly and it would go rancid. It's not what you want from your soap. Some of the soaps didn't lather. Some of them were just rubbish. William Lever had the idea to pre-package his own soap in set weights so he could keep his eye on the quality, and he called that Sunlight Soap. He started producing Sunlight Soap in a factory in Warrington on the banks of the Mersey in Banquet. He was selling millions upon millions of bars of soap every year, but unfortunately for Warrington, his landlord knew how successful he was, and he kept increasing the rent, putting the squeeze on William Hesketh Lever. He thought he couldn't leave, and he would have to pay the rent in order to make his soap. But William Hesketh Lever bought his own land and built his own factory and a model village for all of his workers, and that's called Port Sunlight, where we are right now. Why shouldn't the working man have a nice house and a nice garden and a flushing toilet and a lyceum and an art gallery and a library? Those were all William Hesketh Lever's ideas. He wasn't just interested in making lots of money selling his soap. He was interested in making people's lives better. So much so that he became a politician. He was the MP for the Wirral between 1906 and 1909. It was while he was a politician that he raised the idea of the old age pension in Parliament. So we have William Hesketh Lever to thank for your state pensions. Of course, if you're going to have a model village, you're going to need a church. There's one just round the corner. Did you think we weren't going to visit a church today? Let's bimble. Swept overboard. Under the wind's incision, cutting through, I'm overjoyed. Flowing with the storm's collision, the perfect This is Christ Church here in Port Sunlight, and it was designed by William Owen and his son Seeger. William Owen was born in Warrington. He was a Latchford lad like me. He also designed the Lady Lever Art Gallery here in Port Sunlight, as well as the fire station and a few of the houses. Lest we forget, he designed the Parr Hall in Warrington. I've played there. And he also designed the Wheatsheaf pub in Orford and the Mulberry Tree in Stockton Heath. Christchurch is of course the burial place of William Hesketh Lever. He's buried here next to his wife, Elizabeth Lever. Her maiden name was Hume, and that's why he became Lord Leverhulme. His middle name, Hesketh, was his mother's maiden name, and they carried on that tradition with their son William Hume Lever, the second Viscount Leverhulme. He's also buried here. There are several curious facts about William Hesketh Lever, not just that he liked to honour the maiden names of the wives of the Lever family. He also tried to start a model village up in Scotland. He bought an island and he wanted to corner the market of the fish industry. He started the company Mac Fisheries. He bought walls, as in the sausages and the ice cream, and the company Unilever, formerly Lever Brothers, well, they used to own Birdseye up until 2006. According to my big book of Bimble, they still own Ben & Jerry's, Bovril, Coleman's Mustard, Hellman's Mayonnaise, Pot Noodle and Marmite. They also own Vaseline, Surf, Simple, Persil, Shaw, Radox and Lynx. Bow chicka wow wow. William Lever also tried to build factories in the Belgian Congo. You know, cutting the palm oil off at the source. Palm oil was a major ingredient in the soap making industry. And that got him into a bit of hot water, because it meant he had to associate with King Leopold II of Belgium. He was a bad man. Some people might say worse than Hitler. And apart from all that, William and his wife Elizabeth used to like sleeping outside. They had a special balcony built at their house, which meant they could sleep outside, whether it was raining, gale force winds, sleet, even snow. They would sleep outside on a bed on the balcony. That's Bimble.
It's up to the weather, you know that I surely would say she loves them. You can love the warm and that's okay. You can love the sun in every way. You can love the breeze and blow away. She loves the rain. She loves them. She loves the rain. It's made in perfect measures, dripping from a seal black sky, soaking up this perfect treasure. I know it's right. Moods can be lifted the brighter the day. Take the blue skies and I'll take the grey. It's up to the weather, you know that I surely would say she loves them. You can love the warm, that's okay. You can love the sun in every way. You can love the breeze and blow away. She loves the rain. She loves the. She loves the rain. You can love the warm and that's okay. You can love the sun in every way. You can love the breeze and blow away. But she loves the rain. She loves that. 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 She loves the rain.
A miscalculation has happened, Bimblers. In fact, two miscalculations. It's not supposed to be raining now. It's not supposed to start raining until after 2 o'clock today. Thanks the BBC. And 2, there's supposed to be a road down here that I can go down, according to the map. But it's fenced off. So we're going to have to turn back round and go the way I know. Let's Bimble.
Maybe it didn't work at the time, maybe it never did. A mistake that made the distance, or a trying way to live. Maybe it's the time that you grabbed at my arms and electricity flowed from my shoulders to palms in a white hot glow, leaving white cold scars left bare and unshowed just to prove they were ours. Maybe it worked, maybe it never did, maybe it never was quite like how it is. Maybe it didn't work at the time, maybe it never did. A novelty improvement left lonely as it gives. Or maybe it's the time that you closed both your eyes and you pouted your lips as you waited for mine in the soft red glow of your soft cold arms. Serotonin burnt holes through my veins to my heart. Maybe it worked, maybe it never did.
You can't beat the British weather, can you? Just got soaking wet and now I can't see the screen on my camera because it's too sunny. Where we are right now, Bimblers, used to just be a big patch of mud. Well, behind me is a big patch of mud, but to the side of it is a big hill. After it was a big patch of mud, it became a landfill for the Biffa bins. It's now called Port Sunlight River Park, and it costs £2.3 million to make it look like a park and not a dumping ground for Biffa bins. But as lovely as the park is, the thing I'm interested in is that the SS Great Eastern was broke up here. This is the 3rd week in a row we've mentioned the SS Great Eastern, Isambard Kingdom Brunel's great iron ship. Mr. Brunel's idea was to build a ship large enough to carry enough coal to take you over to Australia, you know, without stopping. An express service. To do that in the 1860s meant that he had to design the largest ship that was ever built, 6 times larger than any ship that was sailing at the time. His original design was 180 metres long, or whatever that is in yards. But when it was actually finished, it was 211 metres long, even bigger than how he designed it. It was all built in Millwall in London, at the banks of the Thames, and when they tried to get it afloat, it was the largest man-made object that had ever been moved, 19,000 tonnes. And they didn't manage to get it afloat. It got stuck halfway. 2 men died trying to get it free. They had to wait for the spring tides for it just to float on its own. It's quite an unlucky ship. Before it was even fitted out, it was sold. The company that owned it went bust. And it didn't end up going east, as the name suggested. It went west to America. So the SS Great Eastern was maybe a bit of a stupid name. Should have been the SS Great Western. But of course, he had his Great Western Railway, didn't he, Isambard Kingdom Brunel? On that maiden voyage over to America, there was apparently only 32 passengers aboard, but there was space for 4,000 passengers. There was still 418 crew aboard. I bet it was good at the breakfast buffet. As much bacon as you could eat. Excuse me, can I have an orange juice, please? Yes, there's 418 people that can get you that orange juice. By all accounts, she routinely sailed half full. Not quite as popular going over to America as they once thought. It was actually auctioned off in 1864 as a financial strategy. You see, the company was about to go bust, so 4 of the directors bought the SS Great Eastern for £125,000. That meant that when the company went bankrupt, the banks couldn't take the ship off of them because it wasn't owned by the company. It was then leased to a company that was laying the transatlantic telegraph cables. That would be your Lord Kelvin and his friend George Frederick Deacon, who we spoke about in the last Bimble. He's the chap who got the water from Lake Vyrnwy in Wales to Liverpool, so the Liverpudlians could have some nice fresh drinking water. The innards of the ship were refitted to fit 13,950 miles worth of cable. But even that wasn't lucky, because it was superseded by a ship called the Faraday, which was purposely designed for that function, taking the transatlantic telegraph cables. That meant the SS Great Eastern was finished. It ended up staying at Milford Harbour over in America for 11 years. A marine naturalist of the time called Henry Lee calculated that there was 300 tons of things growing on the hull of the SS Great Eastern while it was at Milford Harbour. She was auctioned off by Lloyd's Bank for £26,000 and she was brought back over the Atlantic to the Mersey. She was used as a floating billboard for Lewis's department store. It would just float up and down the River Mersey. Quite a demeaning end for the world's largest ship. After that, she was eventually sold for scrap, £16,000, and she was brought here to the mud of the River Mersey and broken up. And apparently, you can still find bits of her to this day. Some of the parts of the SS Great Eastern were bought separately. Apparently the kitchen on the deck was bought by a school in Lancashire. I'd like to see if that's still there. And one of the masts became a flagpole at Anfield Stadium, where Liverpool play, in between the Kop and the Kenny Dalglish stand. Anyway, Bimblers, I think I'm going to cut my losses and go home before the heavens open again.